big picture, what's the number one thing that this team accomplished during week one?
I think we got, in football shape in terms of how we wanted to practice and getting kind of the summer, the summer drops by the quarterbacks are always a little bit loose and kind of the urgency, just the overall urgency of everybody from just a drill to drill, all those things kind of perspective is where we need it to be. Our tempo was really good this morning and yesterday. We're running around really well on defense. Really like where our depth is headed. Just have to keep learning, keep improving, keep learning how to practice in some of their cases. But yeah, so far so good.
Coach Pelham said the defense is further along than they've ever been at this stage of the season. Can you enunciate on that a little bit or talk more?
Yeah, I think there's enough veteran players, and then the guys, the young guys are up to speed in terms of scheme. I think we're way more advanced than we've ever been by probably a couple of days, which I know that doesn't sound like much to the average person, but that's you're probably talking a 20 to 25% increase just from a grasp standpoint. And that's, for those young guys, it's so hard this time of year because they have a limited number of reps, and when they're in there, somebody screws up, and it's either a touchdown or a fumble, a sack fumble, and everybody's confused, and they just have to focus in on their job and improve.
With Tyner out, it sounds like the guys fighting for his spot. It sounds like a good competition. How are those guys doing right now? Do you see that as is it one of the hottest competitions out there, or heated competitions?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really break it down to that point yet. Sorry, something flew in my face there. We're in install mode. We're in experimentation mode as we are every fall camp with, those young skill guys, the returning skill guys that maybe have added to their repertoire over the summer. Again, Malik Lovett, Kirk Merritt, Charles Nelson, Kenai Benoit, Taj Griffin, I'm going to forget somebody here. All those guys are, competing like heck, and we'll get to a point probably the next practice where we're way over the top in terms of how much we're doing from a scheme standpoint, way more than we would do in a game plan situation, and that's where it gets hard for those guys. It just kind of builds up and builds up, but they just have to keep working and focused on, let's talk about crossing something off your list, learn something and cross it off your list forever.
Although you're still just kind of in install period, has there been anybody that's kind of flashed in these first few days of pads that you're kind of like, whoa?
Oh, there's been a ton of guys flashing. Yeah, a ton of guys. Every one of those guys that I just mentioned at some point there's been a wow moment. Dwayne Stanford has been a rock, very, very consistent in his effort and his leadership. Defensive line, Tui Talia. DeForest Buckner's it's really hard to block, and that's a great problem. He's playing really well and leading really well. Tui Talia is practicing his tail off. All the D linemen, some of those young guys, again, they're still learning how to practice and learning that whole deal and what it takes. But they've done some really, really good things. Arion Springs, there's too many to mention.
You mentioned you're in experimental mode still. Was that going to remain the case right up until game week, or will you kind of shut things down maybe 2 weeks in and say, okay, this is what we can do and this is what we're going to focus on?
Yeah, in general, probably about 10 days out from the openers when we kind of, went towards that just opponent, true game plan type deal. But yeah, we want to make sure that we're not missing out on anybody's talents, or we want to force feed some guys to just see what they can take. Whether it's from a schematic standpoint or an execution standpoint, a knowledge standpoint. If you don't push the envelope now, you'll never know. And so we try to do that up front, and that will continue for the next week and a half, or whatever about half that is.
Do you have just kind of a breakout of how much is successful and how much is not when you experiment? I mean, like 30% works. And
that's what's impossible to say. Yeah. I mean, you've got 10 guys executing and a freshman, O-lineman is getting smoked by DeForest Buckner. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. And so that's where you just have to, for those guys, you just have to look at, hey man, I've said sometimes it's like, mining for gold. You get one little fleck of gold and there's a bunch of stuff you throw away. And you keep the gold and you go. And so they, for the most part, have done a good job of that. There are a few guys that are too conscientious about things, which is another good thing. So they kind of take it too hard, but we just got to flush it and move on.
Mark, you guys are in 2 days now. What are the tangible advantages of 2 days? Is it just conditioning, or is it just simply more practice time?
Well, it depends. I think it depends on your team and what they need. We had a little deal yesterday just in terms of our intensity and how we finished. We might not have any true 2 days if we can maintain our intensity and our execution, our urgency, communication, all the things that I think of 2 days you're trying to get in shape, obviously. But at the end of the day, you got to be tough and you got to be disciplined. And if that doesn't happen with one practice and a walkthrough, then it'll happen with 2.
Can you see the conditioning workout sessions paying off now?
Yeah. There's always, that first practice or 2 back, guys are huffing and puffing, and they're not used to just the between reps or just the anxiety that happens of having to be out there and it's on film. You're doing something for the first time. All those things that kind of go into that. But for the most part, we're in really good shape, and we'll get in better shape.
Not to get too far away from this team, but did you catch Marcus yesterday?
I saw a little bit of it. Of course, I saw the great, now it's a quarterback controversy, which is hilarious. But yeah, I know he'll take the blame for both those, and they certainly weren't both his fault, but he'll take the blame and they'll move forward.
What was the current running to check off this list? What you guys need to check things off your list?
Well, for him, the faster a guy like that, and it's all our young guys, is they're still doing the double translation of we call it whatever river and they call it Omaha, and so it's like that's like Omaha, that's okay, and the faster that they can eliminate that little deal, the faster they can play, and you see again Kirk Merritt, all those O-linemen, all those guys doing it. Malik's done a really good job of it. Charles last year did a tremendous job of it. But if you're going to play early, just that ability to kind of be a translator is a big deal.
Sometimes we get caught up in the true freshmen. What are your thoughts on the guys that redshirted last year and kind of competing for playing time?
Oh man, now you're going to make me do some. Do you have names?
Jokes and Nacho.
Yeah, Jalen Jokes is practicing his rear off and looks excellent. He's a young guy. Perfect build for what we're trying to do. Young, aggressive, thick. He's practicing great, and his best ball is out there in front of him, which is great. And yeah, somebody else. Jalen Brown, is practicing. He's kind of in the middle of Dwayne Stanford. Dwayne's made a few more plays. In the aerial game than Jalen, but just rock solid, working his tail off, coaching up the young guys.
Thank you.